I'm Ava. I am known as Trulywicked Crafts on Etsy, on Tumblr, and on Instagram. I'm known as Trulywicked Y on Twitter, and if you're into like crochet and knitting, you can find me as Trulywicked on Ravelry. If you are a former subscriber who just got this lovely little ping in your YouTube inbox, and you're like, oh my God, she's posting again! Oh, she's alive! She's alive! This is going to be a sort of a different subject. It's still crafty goodness, but this is going to be involved in everything cross-stitch. What you see on this particular playlist on this channel, because everything I do that is involved in cross-stitch is going to say Flosstube on it. It'll be Flosstube number 1, Flosstube number 2, on down the line. Because that's all I've been doing recently, is just cross-stitching. So everything that is just cross-stitch related will be on a Flosstube playlist. Same channel, different playlist. So if you're returning from over a year ago, hi again. Thank you for coming to check out what in the world I'm up to now. And if you're new, just checking me out to see who is this weirdo. Hi, welcome. A few things so that if you choose to continue watching me, you will not be surprised by what comes up. Just some stuff that you can expect from me. Thing number 1, I'm not going to apologize for Jack. I do a lot of things that may be quirky. I do a lot of things that apparently some people find irritating on videos. I'm not going to be apologizing for taking a drink. I'm not going to be apologizing for maybe popping a chocolate in my mouth. If I have chocolate, I'm eating it. I'm not going to be apologizing for any crinkling or rustling or thuds you may hear involved with opening packages so that I can show you the goodies. I will not be apologizing for any meows, thuds, occasional vomiting you may hear that comes from my cat. I will not be apologizing for occasionally letting out a curse word. I will be trying to control my potty mouth, because I have a potty mouth. I'll be trying to control it, because I do know that occasionally children do watch Flosstube with their parents. And I would prefer to respect that some parents, probably a majority of parents, don't want their children to hear profanity. I'm not sorry for enjoying profanity, but I do not want to have your child hear it from me and then go to daycare or school and cuss their teacher out. I don't want to get you in trouble to that degree, but at the same time, it's your job to make sure your child does not see anything that you don't want them to see. I'm not going to apologize for blanket terms, like saying my dudes when I'm meeting a group of people out there, or you guys. I've seen Flosstubers get piled on about that, and I don't like it. If you are offended by me saying you guys or my dudes as a blanket term for all of you out there in YouTube land, click the back button. Don't comment don't comment on me using you guys or dude in the YouTube comments, because I'm just going to delete it if I can. Because it's pointless. It's not going to get me to stop. And all it will do is possibly get me irritated and have me call you out publicly on the Flosstube. because I can be a spiteful creature. I will not be apologizing for that either. My mother calls it being a grumble bug. Occasionally you will get rants on here because sometimes things irritate me and I need to talk about it. And I'll be talking to y'all about it. I will not apologize for wearing makeup or not wearing makeup. I will not apologize for any profanity on cross stitch you may see. Because I like subversive cross stitch, and I like cross stitch with profanity on it. If it's, I guess you could say if it's profanity with kind of a point, you know, to get the message across. Like, I'm not gonna stitch something with just the F word on it, because it may be my favorite curse word, but nah. It has to be a phrase. It can be a 2-word phrase, but it has to be a phrase. Occasionally, as I said, you may hear sounds of the cat in the background. Not gonna apologize for that. Did I already say that? I will go off on tangents. I will forget I have said things. Not apologizing for it. When it comes to things I stitch, I will not be apologizing for anything I stitch. Now, if it's something that may be offensive, and by that I mean like curse words or naked. Oh Lord, YouTube. If there are naked chest areas, I may censor it, like little pieces of paper over it, but I'm not going to apologize for it. Censoring it will only happen because of YouTube rules, which is just plain weird. I mean, you can stitch something that is completely naked and YouTube will have a cow over it. It's not a real person, but whatever. I will not apologize for any noises I make or the way my voice may go. I make noises. I don't know, modulate, modify. My voice can go all over the map when it comes to high, low, middle tone. That was not a middle tone. I will not be apologizing for my laugh. If I laugh, trust me, if I really start laughing, you may have to explain to your child why there is a witch in your TV, phone, whatever. That actually happened with a friend of mine. Her niece heard me laughing over a video call and asked who the witch was. I probably won't get very political on here because this is my happy place, and that is not a happy place. Not these days, anyway. And I'd rather not drag it in, but if something really big happens, you may hear me get a little political. So I won't be apologizing for that. Thing number 2 is, and well, to an end, it's not my job to control what you see. It is not my job to block you from seeing anything I do. I am not responsible for controlling your online content. If you see me going in a direction you don't like, you can skip ahead. You can click the back button. You can exit out of the tab altogether. That's on you. It's not on me to control what you see. If you don't like what you see, go see something else. Don't complain about it. To me, anyway. That's basically my deal. if you complain about things you see that you have just been warned about, or that you may find offensive on this particular channel, and you complain about it in the YouTube comments, I will print out your comment and I will read it all over the internet. Now, you may get validation from other people. I hope not. I may get validation from other people going, who was that crazy person? I don't know. Fact, but if you decide to try and dogpile me, or try and bully me over something I say, or something I do, that does harm to no one on this channel, I will read your comment out loud. Because maybe if someone out there who might get offended decides that they want to express their offense in the YouTube comment, maybe if they hear that, the person that you are making the comment to will be shouting it out to the world, maybe that might give them just a second to go, maybe I should not hit send or submit. Might make them think a minute. I don't know. I would hope it would make them think. So, I've rambled on for a good 12 minutes. Well, a little under 12 minutes, but about all that. So let's get to the fun stuff. Let's get to the stitchy stuff, shall we? So, I don't know if I should start with whips, foes, FFOs, FFO. I have one. But I'll just go with what's closest. We'll go with the FFOs. Again, FFO. Currently it's just one. And it is this. This is by Clouds Factory. Spiderwebs in the Corner. Biscornu. The little shoe buttons that I used for the Biscornu came from Joann's. I painted Mod Podge over the glitter so that it didn't spread all over everywhere. And it's adorable. I love this. And it's called Spiderwebs in the Corner because it does have spiderwebs in the corner. Right around the Biscornu. This is the first FFO I ever did. First Biscornu I ever did. And it came out pretty nicely, I think. It's got the little pumpkins and the little pumpkin leaves. Got some little bats and a witchy poos. So it's cute. It was enjoyable to stitch, and it is on. I don't know if you can tell or not. Let's see. There we go. Just enough. Yeah, it's on Sparkly, Ada. It's on the Charles Craft Gold Stardust. You will learn I like my sparkly things. I'm a sparkle girl. So that's my only FFO right now. On to finished objects. This is in the process of becoming an FFO. It's another Clouds Factory Biscornu. This one is the Alice in Wonderland. It is also on Charles Craft Sparkly Ada. The gold, but I dyed it orange. Rit dye. And I am putting beads along the edge there. And when it is done, when it is FFO'd, stuffed and buttoned and sewed clothes, I will, of course, be showing that off. And this is from the Mill Hill sleigh series. This is the Celestial Sleigh. It is an FO, but not an FFO, because you can see the back. You can see the mess of that. I haven't backed it yet. I'm not sure how I want to FFO this exactly. Next up is this. This is from a panel of a comic from GamerCat. And there's this little comic of GamerCat who just finished grooming himself, and he's all perfect and neat and sleek. And along comes the human and ruffles his fur up and loves on him and just completely offends the ever-living snot out of this cat by wrecking his nice, neat, groomed fur. So that is the image. That is the last image in the comic, and I dropped it. GamerCat screams, "The hairball of my labors is going straight onto your pillow," and I popped the image of him pointing at the human into GIMP and graphed it out so I could stitch it. Because it screamed at me to stitch it. I had to do it. And next on the FO train is this little bit. Oh yeah, and this is just stitched on like regular white Aida you get at Walmart. This is a perler bead pattern that I followed to stitch it. Beetlejuice and Lydia. It's stitched on the Charles Craft Carolina linen. I love this Aida. I sincerely love this Aida. But I finished it earlier this year. This is going to be the front panel of a bag. Now, of course, it's a front panel. It has to have a back panel, right? The back panel is one of my whips. Now, it's the cartoon Beetlejuice. Those of you who remember the cartoon Beetlejuice from, what was it, the 80s, the 90s, thereabouts, will remember, of course, the opening. I'm stitching what Lydia says in the opening. "Though I know I should be wary, still I venture someplace scary. Ghostly hauntings I turn loose." And of course, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. I am almost done with all the words. And then I will be putting sort of a lacy frame all around it. The lacy frame actually comes from, where did I put it? Here it is. Ooh. The lacy frame comes from Play-Doh Squirrel. Has a Beetlejuice pattern based off of the movie. And I bought that pattern so I could have the lacy frame. I do actually intend to stitch the whole pattern at some point in my life. But after I finish that, I'm going to be off Beetlejuice for a while. Another whip of mine is this. Now, You may think it's finished, but not. It's not quite finished. This is another one of the Celestial Sleighs. I am making all of them. This one is getting stitched on Charles Craft Stardust Silver. And this one is the Woodland Sleigh. Little bunnies and little cardinals. It's just adorable. Love it. It is not finished simply because I lost the bell. It came with a bell. The same way that the Celestial Sleigh came with a little silver star charm. And I lost the bell. It's a little 6mm bell. I have no idea where it went off to. As soon as I find the bell, or actually go buy the bell. I don't want to buy the bell. I don't want to buy the bell. I will be finishing this off, and it will be a little ornament pillow. This one will be. That will be going to a certain family member. I'm making all but the Celestial Sleigh for family members. Another whip, which is sort of in the not currently working on pile. I was originally farther along on this. It's going to be the Slytherin crest. I was originally farther along on this. I had actually finished the snake. And then when I started stitching, like, the background around the snake, I noticed things were a little off. So I had to rip out all the rest of the snake. Oh, Lord, people. Oh, I hated myself. It was originally supposed to be a gift for someone with a deadline. Ugh. Deadline has long since passed. So now it's in my I'll work on you later pile. Because I have other things that I'm a little more into right now. The Beetlejuice opening being one of them. Let me stick this through to the back so it's not hanging in front of everything you see. This is the Clouds Factory Yearly Sow. I'm pretty sure I got either the wrong size fabric or I didn't hit the middle right, because you will notice that's at the top. Not entirely certain how this is going to get finished now, but I'll figure something out. I had to squish like the flag of this one. This is the A. In order to get it to completely fit, and it's the Anuk, A in Anko. I think I pronounced that correctly. If I didn't, oops. And that's the A. And the F is Fafnir. Now I don't have the name stitched because I'm still trying to find the right kind of thread to stitch it in, but that's Fafnir for F. And he's the dude who turned into a dragon due to his greed. I can't remember what the G stands for. I will put it across the bottom in editing. But it's a winged, basically a bird with a person head and shoulders. And I saw this and I thought it's a harpy. That's what my brain did. My brain went, that is a harpy. Probably not a harpy, but it looks like one. Well, no, it's definitely not a harpy because if I remember correctly in the PDF, in the pattern where they explain what it is, it's a creature that brings good fortune, so not a harpy. H is a hippogriff. And this is done in all the called for colors. The only thing I have changed has been the fabric. And this was Zweigart with shiny gold thread, cream and gold. 14 count Aida, sparkly, because again I like the sparkling, and I dyed it purple. I used ripped purple and like a little splash of navy to purple it up. The eye is an Ifrit. And I just love the way the little fireballs turned out. L is a leprechaun. Look at him, isn't he cute? The rainbow's kind of pastel, except for the orange and the red, which kind of blew my mind just a little bit. Kind of weird. But it's pretty. Here's the rainbow. M is for Medusa. And N is for Nessie. So I'm enjoying doing these. They are adorable. And they're fun, and they're a pretty quick stitch if I have the time to sit and stitch. Like, seriously, I can get one done in a day. Less than a day. I can get one done in an evening of watching whatever I want to watch. Next up is something I'm working on for my mom for her birthday, which is in October, so I've got plenty of time. But it's the Mill Hill Old Time Harvest Kit. And this is how far along I am. I'm doing it on the perforated paper that it calls for. And top down, I am doing the beading as I go. I am not adding all those beads at the end because I will just drive myself insane doing that. I like beads. I like beading. Not on perforated paper. I'm not a fan of the perforated paper. It's just, I don't like how stiff it feels in my hand, basically. And I only have one more whip, and I've got to reach down here for it. And this is the Peace Angel from Just Cross Stitch. It says February 2018, so January, February issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. And it was this that got me to purchase the magazine, even though I was like, ooh, and wanted to also do a deer head, one of the deer heads, and where is it? There's a bird in here. Yeah, there's a little like blue bird in here that I wanted to do as well. But this is what got me to purchase the pattern. And it's the Peace Angel, designed by Leslie Teare, Teare. And I'm changing the colors on this. Just a little. I'm actually going to stitch two. The first one I'm stitching right now, I'm just changing the colors a little bit. Like, I'm going to make the skirt blue, and the wings are going to be like blues and aquas, and her hair is going to be a little darker. Ooh. Etsy just told me I have a delivery, which you'll see next time. But, and like I said, making the hair a little darker. But if I do this again, and I want to do it again, I think I'm gonna like creepy it up, like make it all grays, and oh yeah, the bodice is gonna be silvery. But yeah, when I do this again, I'm gonna make it all creepy. I'm gonna make the birds into ravens. They won't be doves; they'll be ravens. And like change the flowers around. Make it all creepy. I like the idea of that. I'm going to do that later. On another day. But right now. There. Oh. I will show you how far I've gotten on my Peace Angel. that is how far I've gotten. I was actually sort of further along. I'd like started like some of the wing, but then I ripped it out because I had a better idea for some of the floss, but I'm going to move all the other whips and foes so that you can get a closer look at this. Yeah, it's on Ada. I do not know what kind of Ada. It was stash that my granny gave me, so I have no clue what kind of Ada it is. But you will notice the skin. Yeah, it's not linen, but that's basically 4 itty bitty teeny tiny stitches to each square on this 14 count Ada. So if my math is correct, which it may not be because I'm fairly new at cross stitching. So if my math is correct, then that is the equivalent of 1/1 on 28 count. 28 count? Yep. If my math is correct, that is the equivalent of 1/1 on 28 count, and I am so overdoing it on the Ada. I am so over it. I may actually have a little party when I'm done with the skin on this lady, on this Ada. It's possible to get the look, folks. It ain't fun. Because I gotta like poke my... It's like doing fractional stitches on an extreme level. I mean... I'm quadrupling the amount of work I'm doing. I like how it's looking. I don't ever want to do it on Ada again. Because it's not fun. And the little needle minder. The little gnome. Those of you who were children in the 90s. You remember David the Gnome, right? I saw this on Veil Stitchery. And I had to get it because it reminded me of David the Gnome. With the blue shirt and the little red hat. David the Gnome all over the place. I loved David the Gnome. It was my reason for enjoying my time when I got off from school. When I was much younger. I forgot to tell you who did the Slytherin pattern. Oops. That is by Cross Stitch for You. All the shops and such will be linked in the down bar, in the description. So that's all my stitchy stuff, all that I've been doing, craft-wise. Like I said, I fell down the rabbit hole. I'm not going to go through my stash just yet. But I've really been stitching, like actually seriously stitching for just the last 4 months. 3.5 months. Last 3.5 months. And I have already acquired I wouldn't say it's an impressive pattern stash, but it's significant for that amount of time. So I'm not going to go through it just yet. And there are the patterns that my granny gave to me that I pretty much inherited. She's still alive, so she just couldn't cross stitch anymore, so she gave them to me. And I have those. Most of them I'm just like, it's not my thing. I'll probably be like, I don't know. I'll either like put them on stash on load or offer them up to anyone who wants them when I show them off. So I'm not going to show you my stash. I'm not going just yet. I currently do not have, except for whatever just arrived, currently do not have anything that the shop brownies have brought to show you. And for anyone who wonders what a shop brownie is, here's my deal. You're on a website. You don't intend to purchase anything. You're just there to see you're just on the website to see what's there. Or say you're on Etsy and you have an Etsy shop and you're there to update your Etsy shop somehow. And before you know it, something just appears in your cart. You didn't put it there. You don't know how it got there. The shop brownies put it there. So there are shop brownies and there are gift brownies. So the brownies have not brought me anything. They have not bought nor brought me anything. They will have the next time you see me. But currently, no. So what else Stitchy related can I babble at you about? Wow, only 36 minutes. This is going faster than I expected. But what else am I going to babble about you, like Stitchy related? I'm going to babble about Flosstubers. Because y'all enable me. It's any stash that I have acquired so far has pretty much been Flosstube's fault. The reason I really started getting into cross stitch, it started off with the Beetlejuice. Because I sew project bags for knitting and crochet and that kind of thing. And I wanted to make a Beetlejuice bag, but I couldn't find Beetlejuice fabric anywhere. Nowhere could I find Beetlejuice fabric for a reasonable price. And when I say reasonable price, I mean like minimum spoon flower price for a yard. No, not minimum. Maximum spoon flower price for a yard. That's almost $20 for a yard, in case you were wondering. And yes, I have bought a full yard of some kind of fabric from Spoonflower before, because I am that crazy. Y'all, I love the patterns that you can get on Spoonflower, but oh, holy moly. I have to save up for months to get Spoonflower fabric. I've even designed my own fabric, at least one. I've only designed one so far, but I have designed I do have a design up on Spoonflower. It's amazing fabric that you can find in Spoonflower, but it costs, and that's not a cost that I can usually swing. I wish I could swing that regularly. There are so many pretty fabrics that I want on Spoonflower. Tangent! Told you they happen. So, started off with the Beetlejuice. Couldn't find Beetlejuice fabric anywhere. I even looked for like old sheet sets somewhere. Nowhere. Could find it nowhere. So what do? So what I did was I looked like for maybe patterns that I can, maybe images to print off and iron on to fabric, but then my brain went, no, it'll peel off, and I don't want that to happen. So then I'm scrolling through Google Images, as one does when you're trying to find impossible to find fabric, and up popped the Perler Beat pattern. I looked at that for a hot minute. I went, it's a bunch of little square grids. I could cross stitch that. So I bought some El Cheapo floss. Most of what I stitch is in DMC, because most of it is like actual pattern with a DMC list. But the Beetlejuice, no DMC list, obviously. So I just bought this pack of 180 colors off of Amazon. 180 colors, $12. Easy peasy. I kind of wish DMC was a little more like this actual floss. I like the smoothness of DMC because the floss for the Beetlejuice, it's Paxco, is just a little fuzzy, but it's thicker. You get better coverage. And I think I've mixed up my Paxco with DMC Black, so it's kind of weird. Some words have better coverage than others on the opening words. So I went, okay, I can stitch a Beetlejuice image, and I can stitch the cartoon opening, and I can turn it into a bag, and then I can send it off to the recipient. Easy peasy, no problem. Things happened while I was stitching, and I needed to fix a mistake. Yeah, you know where not so much fix a mistake. I didn't like how I was beginning and ending the thread. So I looked up different ways to start and end your stitching. And I found Flosstube. Specifically, I found the Lovely Array, Mackenzie of the Lovely Array. And she fascinated me. And I needed something to keep me company while I was stitching on Beetlejuice. So I watched all of her Flosstubes. And she did something that caught my attention like a hook in the mouth. Her red. The Mirabilia. How do you pronounce that? Well, her Mirabilia. Her red. Oh my God. That got me. I love, as you will eventually see, I love fairy tales. I love mermaids. I love mythology. My absolute favorite fairy tale of them all is Little Red Riding Hood. If you really want me to love you, like seriously adore you, tell me a Little Red Riding Hood story where the wolf is not necessarily the bad guy. Rewrite Little Red Riding Hood for me, just a little bit. I will love you forever. And I saw this was red, and I was like, ooh, Red Hood, that looks like Little Red Riding Hood, all grown up. And then Mackenzie said it was Little Red Riding Hood all grown up. So, of course, I had to go to the Mirabilia's site to check this out. Seriously? Is this seriously it? It was seriously Little Red Riding Hood all grown up. I had to get the pattern. I had to. It has beads. It's sparkly. It's pretty. It's Little Red Riding Hood. She's a brunette. I had to get it. Absolutely hooked me. So, of course, sadly, the Lovely Array Flosstube channel has not posted anything in far too long. Well, I'm watching the Lovely Array, and up in the little YouTube suggested things, I see another episode 1 for someone else. And I click on it, because I'm curious. I'm a curious creature. And it was Leslie Hurley of Fat Cat Flossing. I love this woman. The very first episode, I was dying laughing. Very first episode. I scared my cat. I was laughing so hard. And she always makes me smile. At the very minimum, I smile. Almost every time I laugh. I agree with so much of what she says when it comes to certain subjects. And through her, I have gotten sucked in to other FLOSSTUBERS. So I started watching The Lovely Array, then I clicked on the recommended video, got completely sucked in to Leslie Hurley. And through her, I was introduced to Christine of Stitch All the Things. Oh my God. Also laughed my butt off the very first episode. I almost peed myself, y'all. You have got... They will be in the info bar. They will be in the description. I guarantee you. I will put them all in the description. I almost peed myself laughing at Christine's first video. The way she tells her stories just... It kills. She's funny. She's nice. She stitches some fantastic dark things. I love it. I love it. I love it. She has the I can't remember the pattern's whole name, but the dual hand. It's because of her that I bought, and it's currently in my stash. I've had it too long for it to be considered shop brownie. But it's because of her that I bought the Sleepy Hollow 2 collection from Victoria Motto Samplers Threads. And also, following down from Leslie, I found Vonna, the Twisted Stitcher, who is she's very cheerful, I'm trying to find the right term. She just feels very positive. Watching Vonna's videos is a very positive, brightening experience. And very, very enabling. I did not think I was a primitive stitcher at all because not really my kind of thing, as a rule. But some of the patterns she shows, the way she shows them, the way they're finished, it's like, I want it. Right? You can see the pattern, you can see a picture of it. You can see a picture of the finish, like on the official pattern page. But until someone shows you, like in a Flosstube video or on Instagram, of a different way of finishing it or their way of finishing it, suddenly you gotta have it. And it was just... Vonna gets me with that. She has gotten me with that multiple times already. Not so much with exact patterns, but with pattern makers. She did get me with an exact pattern that I will be stitching for my mom for Mother's Day, but I digress. Through Christine of Stitch All the Things, I found Maui Jin, the Dark Side Stitcher. Oh my God, y'all. She's so much fun. She and the boy, her significant other, she calls him the boy. I'm trying to remember if they're currently married or if they're currently engaged. And for some reason my brain is blanking on that. I hate when my brain does that. But she calls him the boy. And when he pops up, it's laugh out loud funny. she tells good stories. Her stitching is amazing. Her Lizzie Borden, her Lizzie Borden piece, incredible. She and another Flosstuber who I am totally in love with, Amy Teville, have started a Facebook group. It's been started for at least a month. And they're currently running an Edgar Allan Poe macabre stitch along, which I'm not participating in because I have other things I gotta finish first, folks. I don't like having too many projects like crowding around me. Too many. What's too many? But Maui Jen of the Dark Side Stitcher, Maui Jen the Dark Side Stitcher, and Amy of Amy Teville have the Bewitched Stitches Facebook group. If you want to join, of course they will let you join, but you have to answer 3 questions. And they're not hard questions to answer. As Jen says in her Flosstube videos when she talks about this, if you have sent a join request and you have not been accepted or if you've been rejected, check about the questions. And make sure that they, and make sure that they have been answered. Because if you don't answer the questions, they're not going to let you in. It's just to make sure that, ooh, goodness, gas. It's just to make sure that you won't be bothered by what's in the group, because they do show dark stitching. They show macabre things. There's stuff about Edgar Allan Poe, serial killers, Halloween, like zombies. I mean, seriously, if any of that bothers you, probably not the group for you. So it's just, the questions are just to make sure that it's all stuff that you're cool with. So yeah, loving Maui Jen, the Dark Side Stitcher. Love Amy Teville, who is totally unapologetic about who she is, and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Amy Teville, Amy did this amazing, absolutely amazing modification of Frederick the Literate, which happens to be a kit I own. It's a kit I got even before I ever saw Amy's first Flosstube video. Kismet. And she did a modification for all the books and the items around Frederick to be Stephen King. I'm not a King reader. I mean, he is pretty much a god of horror. But I'm not a King reader because I'm a wuss. I'm a wuss, y'all. I love watching like ghost hunting shows and things like Paranormal Witness, Paranormal Survivor. I love watching that. I'm not so good with fictional horror. Or horror that is framed as fictional. Why? I do not know. But I can't watch it. I literally leave the room and then sleep with my light on for a few months. Even Supernatural did that to me. Even Supernatural. I'm not good at handling it. I love like creepy images. I love Halloween. I'm not good with fictional horror. It's the weirdest thing. But I do love the way other people love it, if that makes sense. My mom reads Stephen King. My brother, total King nut. Most people I know love Stephen King. I probably would love Stephen King if I could read it without completely losing my mind. Sadly, I cannot. So King is an amazing writer, and Amy's modification of Frederick the Literate was incredible. You have got, like I said, it'll be in the down bar. It'll be in the description. Go watch. Go watch. Seriously. And I do not know if I found her through Vana or Leslie, or if it was another recommended video on my YouTube, but another person I've really enjoyed watching, there are more that I watch, but these are just the initial ones that I'm kind of obsessed with, is Vicky of Reading and Stitching. And I love watching her animals come in. She spends time with her animals, and you get to meet her animals, and I love it. I love watching the critters. And she's got a lot of Disney. And I'm not a big Disney fan. And by that I mean I'm not like the fan that will go crawl over broken glass to go visit Disney. I'm not a Disney fanatic. I enjoy Disney movies. I enjoy Disney narratives. I enjoy the designs that Disney comes up with. I'm not majorly into Disney everything. I like The Little Mermaid, and Ursula is my favorite villain from Disney. But Disney is more of pretty aesthetic to me than gotta go, gotta love it, or gotta go love it so much. If you want to see me fangirl, hit me up with DreamWorks. Or more specifically, hit me up with How to Train Your Dragon. You will see me squeal. So, I'm weird. What can I say? But I really love the Disney that Vicky stitches. She has a lot of Mill Hill, and yes, she has enabled me on the Mill Hill. She's the one that I saw she's the reason I got the Old Time Harvest for my mother. It was like, oh, it's an old truck. It would be perfect for my mom for her birthday. Oh. So yeah, y'all enable me quite a bit. She also got this issue of Just Cross Stitch. Same reason I got it. So she loves the pretty ladies. She loves the Mirabilios, lavender and lace. I think she said she loves lavender and lace. My brain's blanking again. But she loves like the pretty ladies that you can stitch. She's got all the Disney. She's got she talks about her job as a teacher, and she calls her students ducklings, and I love it. She's a very she's soothing, sort of. Is soothing the word? Yeah. She's soothing to watch, to just sit back and stitch and listen to and watch. And one more before I let y'all go. One more Flosstuber that I just recently discovered. She was in the recommended videos, and I had to click because of the name of her channel. Flannel Janimy's Farm. And that just... quickest way to get my attention is have an interesting name either on your channel, either for your channel or the episode. So I clicked, and her name is Donna Ray, Flannel Janimy's Farm, and OMG. She is not like any floss tuber I've yet come across. She is soft, is the only term I can think of for it. And by that I mean her voice is soft and calming. She has the most adorable giggle. She's soft. She's adorable. She's so freaking cute. I kind of want to just reach out and squish her cheeks, if that makes sense. It's kind of creepy. And she's just got such a positive outlook. The way she ends her YouTube, her floss tubes, is asking people to be the kindness and the grace that they want to see in the world. And it's a beautiful, beautiful sentiment, and her work is gorgeous. Just, she and her husband are urban homesteaders. They raise bees. It's just such a great... she's such an amazing floss tuber, and just so sweet. And I wish she had more videos so I could just watch them all on repeat. And I have like others currently in my watch later list that people have suggested. But currently those are the ones that I am at this minute obsessed with. So that does it for all the stitchiness for this time. I don't know if this will be like a monthly thing, a weekly thing, bi-weekly, whatever. The odds are actually high for a weekly, because I'm probably going to have stuff I want to show. Stuff with like significant amount of work. Because crochet and knitting, when you're doing like big projects like a sweater or a blanket or even socks, because there are a lot of stitches in socks, those projects seem to grow at a very small rate. And you feel, when you're showing them, you feel like you haven't shown off very much. You feel like you're just showing people the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. Cross stitch is different. Cross stitch, you can really, really see the difference between one week and the other. Which is why it's more likely for me to do Flosstube more often than I will, than I'm likely to do knitting and crochet podcasts when I get my knitting and crochet bug back. So odds are for weekly, but if I don't manage weekly, it'll be at least monthly. So thank you all for joining me. Hopefully things will be, the next episode will be a little shorter. I did not intend to spend over an hour talking. But next episode should be shorter because I won't be going over rules of what you can expect, and I won't be showing all the FOs, all the same FOs. I'll probably have an FFO to show you because this is not going to take very long. So yeah, that's it. I never know how to end these things. So yeah, again, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up if you liked me. You can thumbs down me if you didn't. If you have something to say in the comments, hit me up. If you have any questions for me, by all means ask. I don't mind answering questions. In fact, I am very happy to have a conversation open up. I don't have a lot of people I talk to. Or there aren't a lot of people in my general area that I can talk to. Because I'm surrounded by neighbors with kids. I don't have kids. And I'm kind of socially awkward. When it comes to like face-to-face, one-on-one, I never know. It takes me a while to warm up to people. Face-to-face, one-on-one. So, if you want to start a conversation, start a conversation. Go over to if you want to ask me a question, you don't want to go through YouTube, go over to my Tumblr. Trulywickedcrafts.tumblr.com. You can ask anonymously over on Tumblr. And I will answer. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna wrap this up before I wind up babbling further on. I hope things go well for you. Until next time, take care, y'all. Bye.